the pitches.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today, and really excited to see. I think we have 7 or 8 projects, I believe, from our agenda. So excited to see presentations. I'm Elena, co-founder of Supermoon. Spent over 8 years in venture capital. Previously advised United Nations and multiple blockchain projects on how to scale and grow in different regions. Also, over 3 years ago, we kicked off our Supermoon as a hobby, as we wanted to bridge founders with investors and other like-minded individuals. Community grew, and we continue organizing more events, helping founders with access to our community and resources. And at the end of last year, we launched Supermoon Ventures. So now we actually providing a direct support to founders from Supermoon.
All right, guys, I will take over then. Hi, I'm David Schengert. I'm a GP at the Unicorn Factory Ventures, where crypto Web3 VC, Web3 native VC, investing in the future of decentralized innovation. We've been doing it for 3 years. We've deployed into 24 projects, and stayed active and keep staying active whenever the market is. I've been in this space for 8 years in total, and 3 years in the VC space. My superpower is I'm great at building relationship and telling stories, and that's basically the insight that I will bring into judging this session right now. I've been a professional judge for the last 2 years, so this is not new to me. And hopefully, guys, you'll show a great performance, and some of the projects that are going to be pitched today will become a unicorns. And I wish you good luck and keep building.
I'll take as well a quick intro here. So, hey guys, it's Clement. Some of you might know me because I happen to serve ICP community with different roles and hats, and one of them connecting amazing folks like Supermoon and David and Khalid to all of you and facilitating this platform. So I appreciate everyone for joining, and all the best luck with pitches.
Thank you, Clement. We also have Khalid from M55, if you want to give a quick intro.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation first, and a quick intro. We've been in the space for over 10 years now. We've been running 4 funds. This one is the 4th one. Historically, we used to do only primary, pretty agnostic on the verticals, and since I would say like a year and a half, 2 years, we've been moving a lot to the full liquid market with a lot of quant. But we're still active in the primary, not as much as before because of the market, but we're still looking ahead, and we think we have like some good season coming in the next 18 months. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, thank you so much. So I think we're ready to start. We're going to be starting with Rhino Spider, presented by Ronak. I'm going to add you to the stage, and I'm going to remove the judges.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
Hey, we can hear you. You can start sharing your screen whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm facing a little bit of a bandwidth issue. Is it possible that my co-founder Atharva can share the screen?
Sure. Is he in this?
Yes,
What's their name?
should be Atharva,
Oh, there we go.
Atharva. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
All right. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ronak from Rhino Spider, and we are enabling real-time indexing of public web data so that large language models have access to the most recent contextualized data at all times. With the advent of AI, the most recent data is also the most valuable. Now imagine a world where the most recent contextualized data on the internet isn't controlled by a select few, but is harnessed by everyone. That's the vision of Rhino Spider, a network that's changing how data is accessed and used. LLM developers, including large enterprises and AI labs, need massive amounts of real time indexed and contextualized public web data. Since commercial data center IPs are blocked by several prominent platforms, they've been tapping into residential internet connections for years through middlewares like uh, VPN providers and such. Essentially, people's resources are being used without giving any compensation. This creates like an unfair system where everyday users that are excluded are usually excluded from the value they help create. And also the reliance on the centralized data leads to issues like data poisoning and biased information. Rhino Spider is the solution. It's a decentralized network that allows anyone with internet connection to participate by installing a node, simply installing a web browser extension. These nodes sell their unused internet bandwidth for real-time web indexing and scraping. On the other side of the network are AI labs and companies that need access to public web data. By using Rhino Spider, these entities can access any public website in the world, and this approach creates a user-owned internet scale web crawl, solving the problem of unfair compensation and data monopolies. Rhino Spider isn't just about scraping data for AI training. It's actually creating real value in live context retrieval and providing LLMs with up to the minute information. This is a huge opportunity because data decays quickly and fresh data is exponentially more valuable. I'll explain how it works. When there's a request for a specific data set, a validator sends instructions to the network. Router then distributes these web requests to nodes, and these nodes work in parallel to scrape the web and index relevant data in real time. Rhino Spider uses residential IP addresses, making it difficult for websites to block. And we are also building a sovereign data rollup that ensures data lineage and combats any data poisoning. There are definitely advantages to this. We ensure the fairness because Rhino Spider compensates users for their resources. We ensure data quality because by using decentralized network, it becomes harder for websites to poison data. And it's also cost effective as Rhino Spider can consolidate the cost associated with multiple middleware providers. And most importantly, we give users control and ownership over their resources and participation in the AI ecosystem. To participate in a Rhino Spider network, any internet user anywhere in the world simply needs to download and install our web extension. As Rhino Spider grows, it will not only just crawl web, but also create a decentralized knowledge graph. Currently, only two companies in the world have the ability to crawl the entire internet and build a knowledge graph. You obviously know who. Uh, Google and Microsoft. By creating, what we'll do is also we'll create a semantic tree that connects all different websites. Rhino Spider will be creating a map of the whole internet that anyone can use in real time. This will become a foundational resource for AI and other applications. Similar protocol to ours is also Grass, which is building on Solana. They have previously, they're also live. They have about a FTB of 1.5 billion. To learn more about our fundraise, please connect with us offline. The Rhino Spider team consists of founders with experience in various facets of AI, consumer apps, and Web3 marketing. Okay, now just to summarize, Rhino Spider is building the first ever user-owned internet scale web crawl, which will serve as a foundation for AI and future businesses. We are building the future of a new, fairer internet powered by the people who will contribute to it every single day. Thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward to your feedback.
I can go with maybe with the first question, since I'm added here first. Thank you for your presentation. I wanted to ask, are you guys already fully launched or still in the process?
We are launching in about by end of this month, in
Got it.
1.5 week. Yeah.
What would be your customer acquisition strategy?
I think I'll let Atharva answer this question. He's looking into the business side of things. Atharva?
Hey, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're doing, Elena, is that we are actually using the same go-to-market playbook that Grass has done in the beginning. What we are doing is that we're telling people to install the Chrome extension first. The extension is a set and forget kind of an extension where they start the scraper, and it keeps running in the background on their computer, even if they close the browser, reopen it, all of these things. What happens is that for the uptime and the bandwidth that they're giving us, they receive Rhino Spider points, and these points will later on be the incentive for them to get their tokens after our TGE. So the way that we are marketing it to these users is that they all have Wi-Fi, and they're anyways already paying for Wi-Fi, right? It's a fixed cost. So we are telling them that by using Rhino Spider and being able to earn points, which would be tokens that they get paid for, they're actually offsetting their Wi-Fi cost, which is a fixed cost. And then depending on how the token does, they might actually even make money in the process and generate passive income.
Hey guys.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, David.
Yeah, this is David. Great presentation. Thank you very much. I have a few questions. One is more about like regulatory compliance. So how do you navigate the landscape associated with bandwidth sharing and rewards, and particularly concerning data privacy laws and financial regulations? And the second one is more about the potential risk associated with sharing personal bandwidth and your computational resources. What kind of security protocols and encryption methods are you guys using to protect users from different kind of activities, malicious activities?
Yeah. So for the first part of the question, what we have done is that there is already a list of excluded countries that has been created, and if your IP address is found to trace back to any of those excluded countries, then you cannot participate in Rhino Spider. The extension will also not work for you. So that is what we have currently done to kind of gatekeep which regions we are targeting and open to getting usage from. For the second aspect about security, it is something that has to obviously be evolved and built well over time. But in the beginning, what we are doing is that all the data that is stored is SHA-256 encrypted, but it is also stored in an anonymized manner, wherein the contributing IP addresses, we don't actually store the IP address or the device ID directly. We store a hashed version of it, and that hashed version is mapped to the data. And there is a dehashing salt that is basically stored on the back end. It is not accessed by anybody unless it is necessary to do so for any kind of regulatory inquiry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rhino Spider. We're going to be moving on to the next one, which is OMRU Lancer. We'll be adding you to the stage right now.
Hello everyone.
Hey, are you able to share your screen?
Yes. Let me just share it. Is the pitch deck visible to you guys?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So let me just start by introducing what Omrulancer is. We are building a Web3 freelancing platform. As of now, as per my knowledge, there's a gap between the talent and the talent space that is being provided by chains like ICP, Solana, and other popular chains. So Omrulancer is going to bridge that gap. We'll be the first freelancing platform that will focus on providing jobs as well as freelancing projects to our freelancers. So we encountered some problem statements in the existing freelancing space. The one was that there was too much competition and dissatisfaction among the freelancers due to the competition, as well as there was a very the space is quite populated with scammy and unverified jobs on platforms like Fiverr, as well as on Upwork. And also there's a lack of flexibility for freelancing uh, developers or UI UX designers, so they cannot pursue something in a particular niche. So how Omrulancer is going to solve this? We have divided our platform into several features that will help us promote and solve these problems. So one of them is reputation system. How this is going to work is once someone is going to post their bounty on our platform, they'll be able to hire someone based on their credentials. And once you complete a project and deliver it correctly, you will gain some reputation from that, similar to the karma system of Reddit. Also, we have a validation system which will work on consensus to verify the jobs if they are correct or not. Anyone who wants to post some jobs on our platform, they'll have to go through a verifying process which is similar to KYC. They'll have to submit their government IDs, etc. And through consensus of freelancers, random three freelancers will be chosen from the pool, and they'll have to verify that if the job is correct or not. Also, we are providing this feature of team hiring. So if we have a developer and a designer and a manager working together, they can form a team, and then the one who is providing the job can hire the team directly instead of hiring multiple peoples and then forming the team. So this will solve a lot of problem for the people who are hiring it. Also we will be having this team synergy thing, in which it will show us that how much individuals are compatible with each other. So if you have three individuals working together and they have completed three projects, their synergy will increase as they work together. So this will help them to sort out which teams are good to hire and which teams are not performing very well. Also, we have an option to have multiple resumes on our platform, multiple profiles. So if you are a developer, you can apply as a developer, and you can also have a separate designing profile. So for different jobs you can apply differently. uh, for As per our research, there are major competitors are platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and freelancer.com. And in web3 space there are similar platforms like Bondex, but those platforms do not provide a full-fledged technical scope to which is similar to Upwork. They do not have this complete functionality of a freelancing platform. There are platforms which are bug bounty platforms, but they cannot be called as freelancer platform. So this would be a great step for Web3 community if Omrulancer succeeds and become a competitor to famous platforms like Upwork. Also, we are expecting the market size of freelancing market to be tripled by 2031 from 2022. So it will be a huge market, and that market will be of majorly consist of the gig type jobs, which are small tasks. Like in Web3 space, we have tasks like launching your own token or building a DeFi platform. So similar to that. Apart from that, we have already in developed countries like US and UK, and in most European countries, the freelancing market is quite popular. But if we talk about southern eastern southern Asian countries, uh, they are also developing towards the freelancing market. So there might be an increase in IT sector as well as the UI UX sector for freelancing space. Our target audience will be majorly based on, firstly we'll focus on gig types, small bounties, which will help us to gather as much talent as we can. Also we'll cater to agencies, some agencies who want to hire teams. Our team hiring system will help them to hire entire teams and be more efficient, so that they do not have to hire different people as recruiters and then work on the compatibility of the team. So our monetization system would be something like this, that we'll be charging 5% platform fees for every work that is completed on our platforms. Also, if someone wants to feature their bounties as premium or featured bounties, we're going to charge them 5% fees, and we'll introduce a subscription model for handling multiple profiles for freelancers as well. So our team consists of me. I am Athar Bhatnagar, and I am a computer science engineer. I have worked in ICP space from November 2023, and we have Vaibhav with us, who is also a computer science engineer, and he's running his own venture, Code IOX, and he's teaching new students how they can acquire jobs in the new market. So he'll be able to get us more traction towards our goal of hiring more and more freelancers. And we are also working with Quantum Leaps Lab, and they are our official incubator, and they are guiding us through the process. We are almost about to launch our platform by the end of this month, and we are done complete we have completed our MVP. uh, so this is all about Omrulancer, and you can connect with us through these platforms. We have our profiles on LinkedIn, on Twitter, as well as we have a Discord server of our own. So feel free to join us. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. So wanted to ask maybe like a couple of questions that are connected to each other. So I see it as a two-sided marketplace. So you are like looking to onboard obviously freelancers, but you also need clients that will be creating these bounties for freelancers. So first question is how you will be solving customer onboarding from both sides. And second question that comes out of it, why freelancers will prefer it over Upwork or Fiverr or already established platforms with a lot of potential clients on board.
So, firstly, we'll target the ICP ecosystem, as we are building it on ICP, and we have a lot of students working under Vaibhav, and he's teaching them about ICP ecosystem, and we'll recruit them as our freelancers firstly, and we'll collaborate with some SNS projects on open chat, and then they can provide us with some projects. And we'll also feature some bounties of our own, which will target basically on promoting Omrulancer itself. So this is how we'll launch our MVP and start our marketing.
David or Khaled, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a number of questions, but I'll try to pin out the ones that I really want to hear the answers for. And first of all, like the freelancing platform usually require both supply and demand. Supply is usually easier. That's what I've observed in my previous work and other projects that I've seen that work with the same problem. How do you gonna bootstrap the liquidity on both sides? Are you offering incentives, partnerships to onboard users quickly, especially the demand side? That would be the
Uh,
first question. You
okay.
can we can go one by one.
Okay. So, firstly, we'll target the new emerging projects on ICP ecosystem and other ecosystems. We have different grant systems on different ecosystems, so we'll target those growing projects if they want some developer support or some other support like some design related support or some marketing support. So we'll target those projects first, and then we'll scale to the existing Web2 clients. But for now we'll be focusing on the initial stages Web3 projects only. For freelancers, already have we have some communities from which we can get a lot of ICP and Solana developers to us, and we also have our own company Code IOX, which is grooming a lot of students to become freelancers in ICP ecosystem.
Thank you. Second one. Um, in terms of karma points, so how does the karma system function in decentralized manner? So can users possibly game the system somehow? And is there any anti-manipulation strategies? Are karma points transferable? Do they have
Uh,
on-chain representation and stuff like that?
Okay, so our platform is named as Omru Lancer, and we'll be launching a token of our own, Omru, which can be earned through Karma Points. So Karma Point will be very similar to how you earn them on platforms like Reddit or Upwork has a similar currency for which you, if you want your profile active on the platform, you have to pay through that. But we'll not be going into those functionalities. If you'll deliver some we'll have different categories of projects that will onboard the freelancers, and the level of project that you deliver, based on that you'll receive the karma points. And for how much duration you have been the part of the Umru Lancer, that also matters. So this is how we'll be going to design the karma system. And apart from that, we'll be having our own we are thinking of launching it as a, bug bounty, what is the right word, protocol, so that if other DAOs want a specialized separate bug bounty system for their own, they'll be having we'll providing them with the feature to integrate our platform to them. So we'll have some features regarding how they can change the mechanism of karma points as per their requirements. But for Umru Lancer, it would be fixed. You'll have to deliver some work, and depending on the level of work that you have delivered, you'll earn something.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe one quick question. If I understand well, like the positioning for product, it's going to be more about like reputation of the supply rather than price. On the centralized model, so you're mentioning Upwork, Fiverr, there's like so many circumvolution to, how to say, kind of shenanigans on the rating and on the review. So it's pretty unreliable to check the rating. Yeah. How do you gonna handle the reputation at stake, and do you have any way to avoid this kind of fake review, fake rating, fake orders?
Okay, so for tackling the fake jobs or fake bounties listed on our platform, what we are going to do is we'll be having a consensus mechanism of our own, through which, if, for example, you want to join our platform and post some bounties on it, what we'll do is first we'll get your KYC done by our own freelancers. You'll submit your government ID to us, and then automatically a system generated job will be posted on Omru Lancer, and three freelancers will be chosen, and they have to verify. If they reach to a consensus that your profile is correct, then you will be promoted to a bounty provider, and then you can publish bounties. So in this way, bounties will be verified. And for now, we do not have a review system, but we trust the clients to give correct reviews of the freelancers, uh, because they will check the work. And if we'll also have some conflict resolution system in the future. In upcoming phases, we'll be adding it. So if a freelancer is dissatisfied with his review, or they think that they should have a better review, so they can contact our team, and we'll be helping them, and to get a better review if they do not deserve the review. If they think that their work is much more viable, and it should be given a better review.
Okay, thank you so much, Lancer, for that presentation. We're going to be moving on to Diodi with Hans. I'm adding you on stage. Hans, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I can hear you.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
All good. Are you able to share your screen?
I am. Just a second. All right. Can you see that?
Yep, good to go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having us. I appreciate ICP and Supermoon for putting this on. My name's Hans Rempel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Diode. And Diode is a decentralized physical infrastructure network for unstoppable secure communications. Both Dominic and I have over 20 years each in traditional industry doing secure communications and AI related capabilities. Our last project was a company called Exosite, which is a top 10 Gartner ranked Internet of Things platform doing IoT communications and analytics. And we've been developing on Diode since 2019, some of the core technologies, and then launched it as its own entity about 2.5 years ago, and I've been working on it since then. So yeah, really excited to talk to you guys about this today. The problem that we're solving, and that many of you probably have been aware of yourselves, and of course we understand because of our background, is that internet security has serious problems. There's a new type of technology in the industry called zero trust networks. And many governments, large enterprises, et cetera, are using zero trust networks now to protect sensitive communications. They know they can't trust normal internet security. But every single offering in this industry is a closed silo. Not only is the network infrastructure itself vulnerable, but the offerings are only affordable by large organizations, only in certain regions where tier 4 data centers exist. There's significant vendor lock-in once you choose a vendor, and really importantly, you can't build SaaS apps on top of these networks. And so even though they work in many ways for large organizations, they don't work for most organizations or any individuals. The solution is a Web3 zero trust network that Diode provides. We are leveraging DePIN fundamentals with token incentives, regional distribution, and awareness, plus some intellectual property that we've developed called Blackquick, which allows us to validate RPC nodes and smart contract results, etc., to create a decentralized, fully open and permissionless zero trust network. It is the most secure zero trust network on the market today. It's priced at the commodity price of bandwidth. Okay, so we have a bandwidth token underlying this. It's available anywhere and everywhere. People bring nodes on in many different locations. And so it's not just in tier 4 data centers, and it's enterprise and SaaS native. Our high level goal is basically to do a Linux to the Windows, right? The Windows is a closed ecosystem. Linux came in from the bottom up and totally displaced it in the server market. That's our goal using this network in the ZTNA market as well. This is the market leader called Zscaler. They're a multi-billion-dollar market cap company. and they have 150 points of presence. Your points of presence, your ingest nodes for your points of secure communication are strategic and differentiated to your network. Okay, that's the market leader. This is Diode's network today. You can see that we have more map nodes. We don't show Zscaler. I don't think shows all 150 of theirs, but we have more map nodes, and you can see our network is already more decentralized because of the ability to operate using full mathematical security instead of relying on the physical security of the tier 4 data centers. So we're pretty excited about this. We launched our DPIN node in Q4, so we haven't been online for that long, and the token is not yet liquid, even though we have began rewarding nodes in January. So we see Diode as the next evolution. You know, people realized the internet wasn't secure. They started using VPN to try to protect things. And then they went to zero trust networking. Diode is the natural evolution of this sequence. I mentioned SaaS apps. You know, until SaaS applications can be deployed on top of a new type of true security, really these networks are going to be limited to just organizational internal capabilities. And the Diode network is not this way. We can support full SaaS apps. We have a pioneering SaaS app that we have provided called Diode Collab that is basically the Web3 Discord. And this is really important in DPIN because pretty much anyone can create node supply or service supply by incentivizing nodes. But the much more difficult thing is actually creating DPIN demand. And so we've come in not just with the network, but also with Diode Collab as an example of what apps can do on this network. And today we have over 15,000 DIDs on Diode Collab, pushing about 10 terabytes of traffic and is generating $200,000 in ARR already on the network. You can scan the QR code there if you have a phone, and you can download it and use it today across all 5 major platforms. 2024 was a big year for us. We started supporting Moonbeam EVM and are working on additional EVMs above and beyond our own L1. We deployed a regional strategy integrated with ICP, and we'll be unlocking our token here in Q1. 2025 is going to be even a bigger year for us with some of the roadmap items we've planned. And we're really excited about how not only this is differentiated for Web3 projects using Diode for communications, but also, of course, for that enterprise and kind of bottoms up entrance into the enterprise ZTNA space. We have about 14 people on the team. Myself and Dominic's LinkedIn is there if you want to scan those QR codes. And these team members are all passionate about secure and private communications and enabling that through Web3 DPIN. We're offering the token at a $30 million FDV through the Diode Foundation. If you're interested in that, we think it's a very reasonable number for where we're at as an organization, but we'd love to chat with you. And you can get in touch with us at Diode Foundation at protonmail.com. You can hit me directly on Telegram, or if you're so bold to install Diode Collab, I am at Dr. Zarkov on Diode Collab. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Hans, for that great presentation. I do want to say that we are on a time limit, so if the judges can limit to 1 or 2 questions maximum, that would be great. And I'm going to be switching up the order in which we go, starting with David. Thank you.
Do you mind if I listen to other judges for now?
Sure, no problem. Khalid, do you want to go next?
Sorry, on the question, yeah. Maybe if you can, like, if we concern to one question, if you can tell us just a bit more about the 2 things, your business model and how you differentiate in terms of throughput compared to what I would say like a centralized standard throughput.
For boot, sorry, I didn't quite understand that.
I mean, in terms of performance for your
for the network. That's a great question. Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the business model, we have 2 aspects to it. As you know, the DPIN supply is a bandwidth token, and the Diode Foundation has a take rate on, basically it's a third-party payment system. Your application that's running your SaaS app or whatever you're doing, has to have an application sponsor. The application sponsor stakes tokens to be able to pay the DPIN nodes. And then Diode has a take rate on the bandwidth payments that are happening. So that's one part of it on the network side. On the demand side of like Diode Collab, it's a pretty simple SaaS model. You can go to diode.io pricing, and you can see it's like $10 a user type of thing for Diode Collab, and we also will engage in custom enterprise deals and some other types of capabilities. We're going to be introducing some additional enterprise-based services that are typical for the ZTNA industry in 2025. In terms of performance, one of the big differentiators of the network, because it's a tunneling network, typically, like if you're in the US, pretty much everything works well. But if you're in another region that doesn't have a tier 4 data center nearby, and maybe your connection to your phone or to your house is not that great, you need the nearest possible connection, ideally in an ISP closet. And if you know anything about like Netflix and how they actually cache their videos, they cache it on little red boxes in ISP closets. Well, for secure networks, you can't do that for traditional networks. Diode, you can do that with our DPIN node. And so your performance becomes very, very fast because you're hitting the network at your very first internet hop. And so it's actually better, frankly, than centralized alternatives in many cases.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. Elena or David, if you want to chime in.
Yeah, I can ask like a question, also less technical. Would be curious, guys, to learn what are your current challenges from like a business development perspective.
Yeah, from a business development perspective, so we're doing really well in working with Web3 oriented programs. And we've deployed, a referral code program, which is basically a multi-level marketing capability to leverage that. And we have an affiliate program that pays points on commercial sales, B2B commercial sales. So that's all going well. At some point, I believe in 2025, we will begin competing head-to-head with the large ZTNAs. And from a business development perspective, that is one of the key initiatives that we're working on in 2025, is to be able to have not only the kind of product market fit of the capabilities they expect, but also just a business development kind of resourcing to be able to go into those accounts and win those at the appropriate level.
Okay, thank you, Hans.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Hans. Okay, we will be moving on to Malik from Fantasy Extreme. Adding you to stage.
Thank you very much, guys, for this opportunity. Let me share my screen. Just let me know when you guys can see my screen. Hello?
Good to go.
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity, and best of luck to all other presenters. Really some awesome ideas, guys. So best of luck to you. My name is Malik. I am CTO and co-founder for Fantasy Extreme. Mine is less technical, or you can say technically simple project, and that is fantasy sports. Just to give you a perspective, fantasy sports are there since the start of internet, but evolution haven't happened in this particular industry. Maybe lack of external investors interest or some other reasons, but although sports fan base is increasing day by days, but this particular domain have technically stagnant. And then even with the advent of blockchain and Web3 for last 8 to 10 years, still there is no notable development have been done in this particular segment. For further background, fantasy sports means it's a bit different than betting. What we do is that you are actually creating your own virtual team, which result of that particular team, the points are awarded to the selected player based on their real match performances. So it really excites the sports fans. They can feel their skin in the game kind of concept is associated with fantasy sports. So just to analyze the current platforms which are being uh, handled there, we can see. So traditional platforms, there are really big platforms as of now. There are big players like CNBC have their dedicated fantasy sports platforms. Yahoo Sports have their dedicated fantasy sports platforms. But all their platforms, all these platforms have some limitations. And the limitations, one of the biggest limitation they are facing is the geographical barriers. They are, for namesake or accessibility point of view, they are global platforms. But when if there are some kind of rewards practically, then they are not global. They are maybe limited to one country or maximum as region like Europe, etc. Even Premier League fantasy sports platform, Premier League, one of the biggest league of football, their fantasy league platform doesn't allow anybody out of England to participate in their paid contest or any contest where there is some kind of rewards. Second part, the most important part is lack of rewards. Mostly till now, the fantasy sports itself is mostly about bragging. There are big communities with hundred and thousand of users or people playing fantasy sports, but it's mostly about bragging rights, about like they understand game better than somebody else, etc. It's never about rewards or the getting some payment out of it. We do recognize it's a game of skill, so everybody should have a opportunity to utilize those skills to earn some money. Where with the advent of blockchain, there was some, you can say, initial push to bring some Web3 based platforms which are globally accessible, but it come with its own limitations of gas fees and network difficulties. With that, of course, the Web2 users were reluctant to pay, shift to Web3 space. So all these things uh, have made fantasy sport lag behind traditionally technically compared to any other part of life we see. So then fantasy extreme comes as a solution. What we did, first of all, we chose a game which to start with, which is the most famous game on the planet, that is football. There are some platforms who have solved these issues which I mentioned previously. What they did is that, like, if you are aware of the platform named as DraftKings in USA, which have active users, daily match users of 20 million. They are covering only NFL, and they have really cracked this code of fantasy sports, and they have brought in some new advancements or techniques and rewards into the particular platform. But they are only limited to USA, so anybody sitting and outside of USA is not legally or even technically not possible for him to participate in those games. There is very one more really prominent player in the market that is named under the Dream 11. It's mostly focused on cricket, and that is based in India. Even to register in that particular application, you need to have an Indian mobile number. So what I'm trying to say, even some platforms who have solved other issues, they are still stuck geographically. And we as user, or we as team of Fantasy Extreme, we believe that everybody sitting in any part of the world have equal right to earn some rewards or to play the game or enjoy the game they love the way than anybody else. If they have a skill to win, then they should be given right opportunities, because it's about skill, it's not about the place where you have stepped. So what we do, we have introduced first time in football, there is no other platform in the world as of now for football which gives you rewards on match basis. Even if you go to FPL, which is English Premier League's official fantasy sports channel, a website, they allow you a game week model where you have to analyze all the 20 teams before creating a team, and then you have to wait throughout the weekend to finish or see all the 10 matches happening during the weekend, and then you will be getting your results, and that too you will be able to brag only. While what we do is that we let users create teams for per match basis. So for example, you support a particular team and you want to see that particular match, you can create team for that particular match, and as soon as match finishes, if you have won the contest, you will be earning your rewards. Then, because of ICP reverse gas model, we are able to give users experience as close to Web 2 as possible. They can log in using their email as they do in traditional fantasy sports platform. They don't need to pay any kind of gas fee for team creation or join in the concepts, etc. And of course, the biggest issue blockchain always solve, that it gives you a global accessibility. The rewards and the payments are in ICP token. We have integrated CKBTC as a backend backup payment option, and also there is fax token discussion going on. We can integrate any of those things as needed. With that, what we have done is that the platform, as I mentioned, it's starting with the fact that we are integrating football, but it is designed in a way that it can take care of any game, team-based game sports, and it can be added into the ecosystem. Just to discuss the market size of fantasy sports and fantasy extreme or football fantasy, certainly as of 2024, the size of the market size of overall fantasy sports ecosystem is estimated to be 35 billion. Out of that, 5.25 billion is the specific market size for the football fantasy sports. And keep in mind that there is no football fantasy sports platforms available exclusively for Gulf or Africa, where the football itself is a very big game. Out of that, and these 5.25 billion, and we are expecting our estimated number of players is around 67.5 million users, which we believe that as if the access is provided, this number of players can increase big time with time. And I'll highlight the revenue model we have. Our revenue model is pretty simple. There are paid contests, as I have mentioned, that payments are done through ICP. So every match have certain contests with different type of entry fees. So for example, if the entry fee is $1, and just sorry for this. We have created there is a pool of 1,000 players who have paid $1,000 to enter the contest. 80% of that collected pool will be redistributed to top 40% of users, and 20% of that will be our revenue. So that will highlight the estimation of our revenue model. And if you remember, I mentioned that there are 67.5 million players of fantasy estimated. So we see, and we only get 1% of that players into our ecosystem, we end up earning around 22 million revenue. I am talking about 1% of those players. We end up earning around 22 million revenue per year. One more distinction is that we are the only platform in the world as of now which is covering all the leagues. If you go to different platforms, like FPL covers only Premier League, La Liga have their own dedicated platform. So if somebody want to play on both leagues, they have to switch between the platforms. While in our model, in a single platform, you can have Champions League, it's running now. You can have English Premier League, you can have German League, and even La Liga. The platform is live now. It's live since last 4 months. We have active Twitter community. We have around 14,000 followers on Twitter. We are giving some promotions every weekend. We kind of say it alpha version, but the core functionality is working now. We are developing the community, and we are pitching the market slowly. We started with ICP community, and now we are broadening our horizon towards different sporting communities. We are in touch with different communities in different areas, like Arabs have their big community of football. Europe is a big market.
Thank you, Malik, for
Thank you very
pitch.
much.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we are at a time limit.
I do understand.
Let's go to the judges' questions.
Yes,
Elena,
please.
if you want to start.
Yeah, I think my question would be like more about our I'm not that familiar with the gaming and competition markets. That's unfortunately not my area of expertise. So my question would be why would people prefer your platform over existing gaming platforms?
Yeah, there are two differentiators, as I mentioned, because right now we are focused on football. So two big differentiators are, one, most of the existing platforms, they don't have any rewards for you to play the game. So we are offering you the same gameplay, but now we are not telling you that you will be getting only bragging rights. Practically, you will be earning some rewards in place. Second is that, of course, the global accessibility and ease of having multiple leagues in a single platform plays a role too. Hope you got the
Yes,
answer.
Malik, this is David. Hi. Thank you for the presentation, first of all. Second of all, I'm going to have I don't want to say tricky, but interesting question. So, what
Yes,
are the
please.
key advantages of you using ICP or other blockchain platforms?
Yes. First thing is that if you see that ICP have a reverse gas model, and any platform in Web3 ecosystem now, they are facing with this thing that when they try to bring in the big user load from Web2 to Web3, what they face is that gas issues. People are reluctant to pay the gas issues, and we wanted to have entry fees as less as $1 maybe. So what happens now if you have a $1 entry fee and you have to pay $0.5 or 10% of that entry fee as a gas fee? Doesn't make sense to those users. So ICP is one of the biggest attraction to have this kind of platform is their reverse gas model, and users are able to sign in. We don't tell them to download any kind of wallet, etc. They can sign in using your emails. Their emails same like they sign in on Web2 platforms, and there is no gas for anything.
Yeah, my question comes from the point that when you start to scale and then more users participate in contests, how
Mhm.
do you manage the increased demand on the infrastructure? There are
See,
measures.
practically it doesn't. Yeah, number of see, because there are two tricky parts in fantasy sports, and those tricky parts. From your question, I do understand that you are kind of going that direction. That tricky part is that updating the rankings of maybe 1 million users who are on the platform, and how you will tackle that. But practically, it is not affecting anything. We are not updating rankings in the way we have ranking system based on the stats which are updated periodically, and as of now our is a multi-tier architecture. So every canister, as per the ICP ecosystem, every canister is handling a specific role, and practically user data and the calculation of the stats and the calculation of rankings are being managed by the different uh, canisters. So it is kind of microservice architecture. So we don't see any issues in scaling. And because of this, we can have this microservice architecture if we feel that any of the canister has caused, because of number of user increasing and there is a load on a particular canister, we can have a internal network where we can attach multiple canisters for that particular job.
Okay, thank you so much, Malik, for that
Yeah,
presentation.
most welcome. Thank you very much.
We're going to be moving on to BIP or BIP Quantum. Sam, I'm going to be adding you to stage.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm wondering if I can share a 38-second spot. I don't know if you're going to listen to the music or not. Oh, yeah, I think we can do it like this. So hi, everyone. My name is Sam. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for this initiative, ICP Hub and QLL, and good luck to everyone. Like Malik said, this is the right way. Human first, technology after, right? So this is a short video to show you what we are building, and let me know. I hope you're gonna listen. You're gonna hear the short music. All right. So our focus is intellectual property, of course. Why IP? Because intellectual property is the most valuable asset we have worldwide. And our mission is to disrupt how IP is managed and how we generate revenue. Everyone have good idea, but we are challenged with multiple things. So our mission with BIP Quantum is simplify IP protection. We are here to disrupt in a real way how intellectual property consultation is going. Because if you need an IP consultation, you pay a lawyer $570 average an hour, or you can use an AI trained in US copyright as a proof of data. Of course, we are human-centered designed, monetization made easy. Our ambition is to make IP be able to be sales. Yeah, you can buy an IP as you are buying an article on Amazon. And of course, the ambition is to fractionize IP to help any startup, any company to raise money, whatever is in art, in science, or any other IP industry. So we are targeting a DAO on ICP for decentralization power, the scalability of ICP. All my other colleagues talk about the potential of ICP. And of course, our target is to build strategic partnership. And we'll share with you big names. I'm really proud of that and grateful for that. And of course, the future of proof IP as a proof of data. So before BIP Quantum, IP protection is really slow. There is no solution today exclusive for AI creations. We're seeing multiple DApp, multiple app, multiple technology built with artificial intelligence. And Copyright Office did not recognize yet IP based in AI creation. So this is something we need to take care of, and we are taking care of. Limited access to global IP market, and of course, creators struggle with that. What is IP? What is the difference between copyright and patent? With BIP Quantum, you can receive education about intellectual property. You can certify your IP creation, whatever it's AI creation or human created. And we use NFT licensing, make it easy. When you talk about license, it's GameFi for gamification, meta use for metaverse, physical, virtual reproduction, SaaS, and name it. So this is the ambition we have. The problem we have today is evidence of ownership is not easy. An NFT is not easy to be understand by mass adoption. How to track my key? Should I go to, for example, Etherscan, BScan to verify if it's original IP or not? So we're resolving this problem. Licensing and royalties. What are the rights? How, as a creator, I want the buyer or the collector to use my asset? And of course, global IP management. And blockchain is the key. With ICP, we make it easy. Some numbers about the market now. So of course, we talk about 62 billion annual revenue on US only here about intellectual property. IP is the real asset. You can put in the side the revenue as a business, and IP is the best and safest investment. If you buy, for example, a fraction of IP and the company is bad, we have bad management with the company, you can keep the asset with the IP. Consultation only, it's $2.1 billion. And of course, we see tremendous evolution in the market based on the IP consultation. Our solution, so it's instant ownership proof with an NFT base. Legal integration, we work with 4 different jurisdictions, Canada, US, Europe, and Africa, to make IP global. We want to disrupt how IP is managed. AI-powered legal automation. You can have AI assistance, or you can make it manually. And of course, effortless licensing royalties. We are an ICP. We use PyTorch for our LLM AI consultant. And we partnered with Artizu, a company I built 7 years ago, successfully today. I'm really grateful. Product of the day, top 5 product in Product Hunt with a couple of clients. We are switching them step by step to BIP Quantum. We signed also Deloitte as a first client. We protect 33 deep tech startup, clean tech, before going to pre-patenting step. We are also having the chance to work with Deloitte for BIP Quantum phase. Our business model, 40% of revenue will be subscription model. Of course, from beginning, our strategy is to make BIP Quantum free to build the community. 25% for transaction fee. As soon as you buy the IP or you sell it as NFT Classic, we have revenue. NFT licensing tokenization, so royalties for each kind of use, and consultation service, which is 10%, data analytics, 10%. Customer acquisition, you asked the question earlier for other colleague, strategic partnership, community growth, Ether Denver, and we organize monthly event to educate people about IP. I drive an onboarding, so educating, working with IP lawyers, token incentive airdrop. We are dropping 5 million token, 1,000 token for each IP creator, quality first, not quantity. and NFT-based IP ownership. The platform is ready, the MVP is ready. We are launching the airdrop now, and this is our roadmap between 24 to 26. I try to respect the time. This is the team between passionate IPs to creator to designer to UI, UX, and developer, of course. And we are targeting to raise $5 million. I'm really proud to say we are really secured $1 million from strategic partner named Deloitte, Spur, which is a data center. And here are my information. I would be more than happy and honored if you are interested to support this project, disruptive project.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Whichever judge wants to go first, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask a question.
I can jump here. Sam, thank you for the presentation. I mean, this topic been pretty popular like ever since like 2017, 18. Definitely was a lot of companies trying to change how IP market works, and they all faced with a lot of legal issues. Because it comes like from like a moment you want to record information to like a moment when like any disputes like arising within the people who actually received an IP. How do you guys work with legal entities and actually validating information, like and obtaining this IP?
Great question. Actually, the first step is we cannot replace 100% a lawyer based on conventional law. So we collaborate with lawyers. How we make our solution disruptive? We are bridging the blockchain with the real world. In other terms, our blockchain intellectual property certificate will have a digital twin in conventional law. So we created a Python bot able to scrap the data and generate the US copyright certificate aligned with the blockchain certificate. And for AI example, just to give you more details, your prompt is a real copyright. The result of the prompt is protected to the blockchain, which means any AI creation can be protected today. I hope I answered clearly.
Yes, I understand. I have more questions, but I would let David and Khalid to ask first.
Fine.
Yeah, guys. Sam, thank you very much for the presentation. I wanted to ask you maybe a little more generalistic question. What are the future plans for Big Quantum? What are the upcoming features, the innovation that you're planning to launch, and how you further enhancing the platform in terms of value proposition?
Thank you so much for your question, David. The first step is to make it simple. So we are using NFID, non-fungible identification, as a non-custodial to make any not crypto blockchain-based user to adopt. So the first step. The second step is to grow. So that's why to disrupt, we make it free. So selecting IP creator, scientists, not only artists creator, because we don't want to be another NFT platform, right? So this is the target. And the third step is to grow with big players and partners. Like today, our first investor understand the importance of IP valuation. So we make the IP be able to be sold in our marketplace, and our ambition to be able to fractionize an IP to raise money as a crowdfunding infrastructure. So a kind of Kickstarter. Let's say, for example, Infinite Game today, or a lot of good projects are looking for to raise $1 million for a specific target. Our DAO will help the community vote, select, and you invest in 20%, for example, of an IP to give away this money without any guarantee for ROI, which is respecting the financial authorities. So from an IP platform, we are going to a kind of DeFi to help access to investment, easy investment with the DAO community, of course.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, David.
Khalid, would you like to ask anything or add anything else?
Maybe one thing, yeah. I mean, like all the blockchain data that you record for the IP, is it enforceable off-chain?
It's not automatically enforceable off-chain. This is a good question. With ICP, we are able to index each data. We are crypting the IP if the creator is not looking for selling his IP, right? So this is the challenge, Khalid, we have today. That's why we develop a certification based on the IP description and the IP preview, right? So we still honestly exploring the legal aspect of that with our lawyers, but so far we make it super easy. So you are able to list the preview accessible off chain with the simple QR code and as a PDF certificate. But we give you the choice to select what kind of information you want it visible to public or not.
Okay, clear. Thank you, Sam, for your answer.
Thank you, Khalid. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, so much for that presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we'll be moving on with Christian from Abel Finance. Hello, Christian.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. Can you guys see my screen properly?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So my name is Christian. I'm the lead developer at Abel Finance. I've worked in blockchain for the past 9 years. So at Abel Finance, we are a crypto investment platform that utilizes quantitative AI strategies to yield results. We recently got approved for a $25,000 grant from the Infinity Foundation to extend our work. And yeah, we're super excited to build on top of ICP via chain fusion. AI and blockchain are slowly taking over, especially in the finance domain. Normally, AI hedge funds growth outpaces traditional ones, and DEXs traditionally their volume is overtaking centralized trading volume. At AbelFi, we are allowing retail investors to trade based on automated AI strategies. If we compare traditional AI hedge funds, it's difficult to access and expensive. And unlike AbelFi, a decentralized investment solution that is easy to use and non-custodial. So what is AbelFi? It's an automated crypto robo advisor for everyday investors. We allow you to explore AI investing strategies. We show you how our strategies perform. You choose which one to deploy. You select how much you want to allocate to your strategy and set a base trade amount, and you deploy. Coming into ICP, we plan to support different types of assets in different chains via chain fusion. So Abel is the first of its kind, bringing the old, the new, the future types of investment platforms together. We are the AI crypto investment solution for your retail investors, and no accredited investor status is needed. So what we are a user-centric, AI interactive, on-chain trading, non-custodial, transparent, and compatible. While we're not a traditional UX platform, a black box AI, a DEX, a legal hedge fund, infrastructure or middleware, or a bank or regulated financial institute. So under the hood, or AI predicts prices like ChatGPT predicts words through or temporal transfusion model. All the data is sourced from the market, and we process it through our specific strategy, and we generate signals. In the near future, we aim to create a user experience that personalizes your investment strategy through AI. Our goal is to create an AI investment prompt-based solution on chain. So think about ChatGPT, but more niche and more domain-driven in the finance investment for your retail trader. So far, what we have accomplished, we managed to build an amazing and talented team. We built a minimal valid product on EVM. We added support for Coinbase, and we also added XRP, ICP, ETH, BTC, and Solana to our list of strategies. And every day we're training new models and growing. Now we're working on hardening our systems and adding chain fusion support to lower gas fees and access to liquidity. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. And here's where you guys could, reach out to us, collaborate. If you guys want to collaborate, get in touch, try our platform. It's live. Yeah.
Thank you, Christian. Moving on to the judges' questions. Whoever wants to go first, please unmute yourselves. David, would you like to kick us off?
Do you mind if I listen to judges? I'll be the last one.
Yeah, I can jump in. Thank you for presentation. My questions would be because there's definitely a very massive competition in this space for like automated AI crypto trading. There's a lot of like apps are being developed, and I think like it all like comes down to like first of all your custom LLM model and how you're training it. So if you can share a little bit more on how you like build up your algorithm and what like data you were using for training your LLM model.
Yeah, sure. So I can't speak too much about the strategies that make up the model, right? Because it's proprietary, knowledge from our AI engineer. But we utilize it's similar method like ChatGPT predicts words. We use real life data through external parties, and we process them, right? There's in machine learning, you have multiple types of strategy, and what's unique is how you stack them together and the process of how you go about trading that model, right? So our AI engineer, which is one of our co-founders, he stacks those strategies in a specific way that get processed. And then it generates signals for us. Maybe perhaps in a later on call, we can get into deeper on how exactly the process is.
Do you have already like a list of data providers, like open data providers, or that you aggregate and use?
Yeah, one of the ones that we use is Polygon.
Got it. And like any like our data analytics platform.
What do you mean by that?
Like any like providers are like for like real life or like market data.
Yeah, Polygon provides that. Not Polygon the blockchain, just to be clear, it's Polygon the service that provides data.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Thank you very much, Christian. Great presentation. I really like your product so far. I have a set of questions, but I'll start from the first one. So in terms of the model decay and the overfitting of the model, what kind of measures, guys, are you placing to prevent the model decay?
Yeah, so are you talking about like how do we manage risk?
In a sense that how do you feed the insights into AA model that driving the strategy? How does it adapt?
So how do we train our models to produce the signals?
Not just that, but any AI model has a certain decay level, and then it can kind of overfit at times. So how do you keep training it, basically?
We continuously feed data to it. It's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a great amount of capital training our models, and for every strategy we have, for example, we have XRP, ICP, ETH, BTC, SOL. Each of them requires a certain amount of training time, takes some time, and specific data to train them and process, and we run back test.
Mm-hmm. Got you. But okay, in terms of user control, can users influence certain parameters, like set their own stop losses,
Yes.
or
Okay.
ask
So
application preferences?
correct. So we're live right now. Or strategy builder is not fully complete right now. All you can do is you can set a total. So when you deploy a strategy, you select you input how much capital you want to dedicate to that strategy, right? 10,000, 100,000, a million, and you set a base parameter, which is how much you want the AI to interact per trade, right? Now, we do have stop losses and take profit parameters, and we plan on adding more. But yes, our goal is to create a fully personalized builder.
Yeah, we can continue and debate on that, whether you want to need to give more access to users to actually twitch things, or should you just follow the model, which is proved to be more successful than any individual trader. But that's a different question. Another question that I have is about like scalability. Is quite straightforward in terms of when your user base grows, your scaling of the infrastructure. Could that be an obstacle? And would you have enough money? Would you count it that you have enough money to scale the infrastructure?
Yeah. So the models, yes, you do have to train them over time. But when it comes to the infrastructure, Lambdas, AWS Lambdas, very affordable. Only uses, it's based on invocation, so that should not be a problem. We're moving our execution layer into ICP, into an ICP canister, utilizing their chain key for signing transactions and their chain fusion for accessing multiple contracts. There is parts that we need to explore when it comes to monetizing the canister alone and how we're going to scale the canister, because there's multiple options. Right now, there isn't really in ICP, there isn't really like a large mass scaled project, right? So we don't have many examples of multi-canister architectures. So that's something that we're here to explore. And through that, every canister has a limited amount of storage. So we can't just say, hey, let me put the whole backend in the canister, right? So we need to be very specific about what logic and what we want the canister to do and how we maintain those canisters to support the execution. So I hope that answered your question. But yes, it's actually very affordable to maintain. Or only overhead is just it would be just development and training the models.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Christian. I have a few more, but I don't want to take over the time of the speech competition. We can carry on later on somehow.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Khalid, if you want to add anything, otherwise move on.
Yeah. Maybe two quick questions, because I didn't get one thing about the product. Is that like once I use Abel, I trade on the DEX of Abel, or I can plug in any API on any DEX, on any SEX?
So you let us worry about, so when you come into our app, your thought shouldn't be like, oh, which DEX are we going to, right? Your thought should be like, hey, this is on chain, and I'm here to have my money be deployed for me and have an AI agent take care of that over time, right? But behind the scenes, we do utilize, as we grow, there are plans to expand, there's arbitrage opportunities when tapping into different exchanges and tapping into different fees, right? Because at one moment, lower fees could be happening on Uniswap in Base, but the next moment, Solana can have way lower fees. And if Ethereum has too much traffic, we can route it elsewhere. So there are opportunities and way to monetize or go. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to trading, especially in automation and using AI agents, is the fees, right? How much per trade? What's the round trip cost, right? Right now on EVM for Res MVP, and we weren't expecting to beat anything, we cut even on fees, matching centralized exchanges. So we're hoping with a bit more optimization on ICP and a bit more engineering work, we can get it much lower. And then later on, of course, once we introduce our token economy and ecosystem, we plan on lowering those fees much more.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Really clear. And maybe one second question quickly. I see on your website, like the other thing you introduced at the beginning, the catalog of strategies is like strategies made by the user put on the marketplace, or is like strategies provided by Abel?
So at the moment, our business model essentially is a B2B and a B2C and a B2A, right? So a B2B behind the scenes enable enterprise create AIs, right? Every AI hedge fund is looking for the next big thing. As long as they know how to run this, if you simulate the strategy, you show your back test and you put it to work, which we do have internally, have bots running and testing our own, with live capital, testing our own strategy, not just back testing it, but having proof cash. It's performing well. Unfortunately, I was able to update the pitch deck, but it's performing very well. The future is, yes, we plan to enable. So we come from an experience of an NFT marketplace, and we have experience building marketplaces. So we want to bring the marketplace. There is other platforms out there that are that help the quant engineer deploy their strategies. And we want to recreate this in Web3, right? This is when decentralized AI comes into play, and all the new tools and new ways to monetize your intellectual property, on chain. So yes, we do have plans to allow people to come and release their own strategies and expose them to investors. But at the end of the day, the end user, the retail investor, will come in and will go ahead and select which strategies. We show them how they perform. Our goal is to show them, to be transparent and clear, right? And they can always, the UI in this platform is actually what's key, because it needs to be intuitive enough, it needs to be safe, and at the same time, it needs to show you a lot of information while not showing you a lot of information. So to keep it simple. And we're supposed to have a really good risk management. So, you never know, black swan events can happen, things can shift. So we have that in place to prevent that.
Okay, clear. Thank you. Definitely, let's talk after pitch day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Christian.
No.
We will be moving on to Enzo from AOP DeFi, which is our last pitch presentation.
Hey everyone, thanks for everyone for pitching. This was rather long, but it was very interesting to see cool projects building on ICP. Should I share my screen? Up.
Yes, please go ahead.
Share screen, up. Can you see?
We can see.
Perfect. So hi everyone, I'm Enzo, I'm part of the team from Golden Gate BTC. I was looking at some of the projects earlier, and I've decided to change a bit my presentation as a result, because I think our team is very unique compared to the rest of the projects which you've heard pitched today. We are a team of 5. We're the team behind the Water Neuron project, and 3 of us out of 5 are ex-Dfinity, so my co-founder Leo and myself. We're Dfinity engineers. Leo did CKBTC, which some of you guys are using. And one of our newest team member, Ulan, was the team lead of the runtime team at the foundation. Water Neuron, which is our first protocol, is the one in DeFi on ICP in terms of raw TVL. We have more than 2 million ICP staked. We launched 6 months ago. We control more than 70% of the ICP in DeFi. And with the number 1 DAO in crypto, the top 60 in holders revenue, we redistribute 10% of all the revenue of the DAO to the token holders. I wanted to give you some background and perspective on our team and what we're capable of, because this current project, we aim to solve a problem which I've had recently, which is bridging between chains, especially exotic routes and coming from ICP. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction to how Bridge works, because I've been diving into it recently and I think it's very important. There's more or less 3 types of bridge. This is the DeFi Llama bridge page. There is your typical lock and mint bridge, which is like your typical chains bridges, so like Hyperliquid, Arbitrum, Polygon. They all have this. You deposit ETH, you get ETH on the other side. It's fairly standard. You have your burn and mint bridge. So this is your CCTP, your wormhole, your layer 0 as well. And then you have the atomic swaps bridge, which is the rage right now, and it's called Intense. But in the background, it's target, deep bridge, and across. Intense is a very fancy word for meaning someone fronts you the money on the other chains, and then they get your money back from the source chain afterwards. This is all happening in the last few months. Intents have become very popular because they allow you to go from chain A to chain B in a few seconds by having someone in the middle front, like I was saying. They're in the process of standardizing all of this with ERC 7683. So yeah, this is a quick overview. Now for our unique position in the market. The issue with intent is that all of the intents are solved by a few people. So the people fronting you the money on the other chains, not everyone can do this. I cannot just run a Raspberry Pi and compute what I need to offer you the new asset at which price. As a result, everyone who holds the volume for all of the cross-chain intents is pretty much market makers. So you can see on Uniswap X, the pink part, this is Wintermute. And they come back on other graphs as well. This graph shows it well. Whether it's across the bridge or Stargate, they all rely on a pool of solvers which fronts you the money on the other chains. Now, this is very nice because it means liquidity is reused, etc. However, this means that exotic routes don't get served. So Jumper is a bridge aggregator and solver aggregator, and they do a wonderful job. And they connect in the backend with all of the protocol, which I showed you from the DeFi Llama page. Now, many times where I've been trying to bridge in the last 2-3 weeks, I've had the issue of wanting to do really basic trades and no one offering me a route. Now, this is fairly standard in the bridging world nowadays, and I don't think it should be. Why is this standards? Well, Arjun from Life has a very good analogy. When you bridge today, it's like taking Uber. You don't really care whose car you get in, as long as you arrive in destination. You know, and Uber was all the rage a few years ago. Many people still use it today. However, I'm not a fan of Uber, especially when you leave the club, it's 3 a.m., and all of a sudden, everyone keeps on canceling your car. They keep on rerouting. They accept your order, but it doesn't get fulfilled. You know, this has become a real problem, and I think we see the same thing on chain. Because the liquidity is scarce at time, and it's like the number one asset in the ecosystem, people don't want to accept your order if you are not on a route which they want to serve. We aim to be your friendly cab company. I would rather have a cab company which I can call at any point of the day or night, and I know they come here within 5 minutes and they will accept my routes, rather than wait 2 seconds and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So that's what we want to do. We're not going to reinvent the wheel because this is too much of a bet. We're going to copy Squid. Squid is doing something wonderful. Squid is pretty much tapping into every chain's liquidity. When you want to swap from, let's say, Aave to DAI, from chain A to chain B, they route your order to USDC, and then they use the Axeler USDC pool to route your order on the other side, mints your Axeler USD on the destination chain, and then route again. As a result, people who are in this USDC Axeler USDC pool make a lot of APR. Right now on Aerodrome, pro tip, guys, if you're not doing it, you're missing out. You can earn 30 to 45% APR on this very small pool, because what Squid is doing essentially is channeling tons of traffic, tons of solver traffic through those more small pools which you have on every DEX, right? And this means you bring volume to the pool. It's very safe investments, but do your own research. Now, I don't think this is really sustainable. It means you're relying on like the USDC liquidity, which is great, but centralized stablecoins are like the one asset on chain which everyone is trying to get a hold of, whether you're like broad lending protocol, whether you're a DEX, whether you're a bridge. Everyone needs stablecoins because people don't think in terms of tokens anymore. Sadly, they think in terms of dollar. And what best to represent dollars than a stablecoin? We aim to copy Squid, but instead of having Axeler USDC in the middle, we're going to deploy our own stablecoins. Now I told you we already did one neuron project on ICP, and we're part of the DAO. The first project which we had launched was Stellar, and we had to shut it down. So we already have the code base for Liquidity V2-like stablecoin, which we had deployed prior to Liquidity as a test. We only ran this for 2 weeks, but we had a lot of users before shutting it down and focus on water neuron. And so we're going to reuse this stablecoin and put it in the pool in the middle. Why is this important? This is important because ICP is deeply integrating with the BTC network. Because we're going to be a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin, a bridge, and an aggregator all in one, we're going to enable people who have BTC on BTC mainnet to earn real BTC yield. Because right now, my issue with BTC scene, BTC5, if you call it, is like everyone who's involved in Babylon, they all promise you yield, but it's actually an illiquid governance token, which frankly, I don't care about. I want yield on my Bitcoin relative to my Bitcoin, whether it's 3, 5, or 8% per year. Now, as I was telling you, we want to replace in the middle instead of Axel USD, we want to have our own stablecoin, GGUSD. And we want to have the same model of pools. And also, instead of you going to every pool on every chain, we're going to allow you from our front end to borrow against your Bitcoin, your SOL, your ICP, to mint our stablecoin, GGUSD. And then you're going to have two options: either earn yield relative to your base asset, so BTC, SOL, or ICP, or earn yield relative to dollars by being in the pool. And then the protocol will automatically stake your your USD around. As you can see, this is Liquidity dashboard on June. They're doing pretty good ROI for the stability pool. We think that right now the experience in DeFi has been very modular, which is great for growth. However, if we want to grow higher, you need the most stable base. And having everything extremely modular makes it extremely confusing for the users. And it also means everyone needs to take a fee. We are going to use a fork of CKBTC, which we're currently writing, as my co-founder did already the first version of the protocol, which is going to allow you to deposit BTC on BTC mainnet and mint it on any chains. And then out of this, build a stable coin. And then on top of this, deploy the pool and do the cross-chain routing for exotic routes. Our goal is to do the same thing that Musk did with the Raptor engine for SpaceX, is having a very swift UX experience while being fully decentralized on-chain, fully controlled by the governance token, and sharing all of the fees and revenue with the governance token holders, like we're doing with Water Neuron. So this is our plan. We're currently nearly done with the ICP bridge, which we should be releasing next week. The BTC bridge should be coming in 2 weeks. Then we're going to do the routing between any chains using Axel USDC or something similar. And then we're going to deploy stablecoin and enable dollar yields. And then ICP canisters have a very unique value, which enables you to query them from Web 2 without knowing it's Web 3. And we're going to leverage this to our fully on-chain API to have peer-to-peer payments, which you can include in your website, meaning that once we have connected the whole of crypto together and we have a bit of liquidity everywhere and we know you can swap easily while being everything coordinating from the ICP DAO, we're going to enable you to put a one-liner in your website, which is going to allow anyone like Stripe to scan something, scan an address, and send any tokens which they have to pay for their real-world purchase. Our go-to-market is...
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I'm going to pass the mic to Khalid, if you'd like to ask a question.
Yeah, sorry, you can hear me, guys? Yeah, I mean, I could have any question on the product, but it was maybe too technical on bridges for me. One thing, maybe like why I would just not go like to old DeFi platform like with Rapid BTC. Second thing is that you've been showing like that one APR at 30+% from what's the name? Like your competitor, you're doing like Accelerator. Yeah, if you can explain a bit about, because I could not like catch the TVL, but I thought it was like under a million or something.
Yeah. So the way they do it is because they do cross-chain routings. So enabling people from swap from chain A to chain B, they channel all of the swaps through this pool. And because it's a stable swap pools, it means you can have very large swaps without moving the price much. And so it means that it's very good for APR because you're never out of range. And so with only 300K TVL, if you were to swap 200K out of this, there would be like 0.05% price impact because of the stable swap pools, but it would be a lot of fees earned by the people in the LP. And in terms of why compared to WBTC, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with Threshold Bitcoin, but Threshold Bitcoin is like WBTC but fully decentralized. It started to become extremely popular in the last year as WBTC has had the issue with BitGo and the Rust. They've been accepted into a platform like Aave and Morpho, having their supply cap expanded. We think they're great. However, the issue is you first need to go from BTC to ETH and then from ETH to any other chains. We are currently building a process which allows you to deposit on a BTC address, and then you can mint wrapped Bitcoin assets controlled by Threshold cryptography from my DAO on any of the chains which we've integrated.
Okay, so that's the difference with like I don't know how to call it, but like a first generation of WBTC, right?
WBTC is like centralized.
More if friction in the middle, right?
Yeah, but WBTC is centralized. You don't know who holds the key. It's very opaque. Us, it's going to be ICP. You can sign threshold cryptography transactions directly, fully on chain, so you can see that the key is being held by node providers on the ICP network, and its split is never recomposed. It's like the MPC generation of key signing, which has yet to be very utilized outside of TBTC. We can bring it for any asset, but we want to focus on Bitcoin because we think that people don't really want to bridge any other assets to many chains apart from Bitcoin and stablecoins.
Okay, clear. And to come back, but it's more anecdotic and not much on not much on the product. Like the APR, which was at 31, it's like for XLR, I guess. It's like what is like there's like huge volume, small TVL.
Yeah, huge volume, small TVL, and that's what I wanted to explain. I went a bit fast because I knew it was the end, but the issue is because they're wrapping USDC, and you have like USDC versus their wrap USDC in the pool, and they keep on channeling orders through it, and as a result, there's like low TVL. We want to make sure that there's a deeper TVL because if you're well, you cannot swap that much because of it, and you need to rely on market makers. And if the market makers don't like your route, they're not going to serve you. And so we want to make sure that exotic routes for whales are getting served because at the end of the day, they're still like 80% of DeFi. And if you enable whales to come to your network, it enables your network to grow faster and like have a trickle-down economy, so to say.
Okay, all clear. Thank you, Enzo. And let's discuss after the pitch, after the demo. I mean.
Thank you.
Hey, Enzo. Thank you very much, man. I have a quite simple to tell, but we'll see. This is going to be as straightforward to answer. So you mentioned that you have a dependent on water neuron, which from my research right now, it holds 72% of all ICP in DeFi.
So we're not dependent with the same team.
Yeah, I understand. So, but you still rely a lot on provision of their liquidity, isn't it? So my question would be, what would be your risk assessment if, for example, Water Neuron changes its governance and then the liquidity incentive changes that directly influences your business model? How do you assess that risk?
So wait, sorry, could you repeat? So you're asking me what if the Water Neuron...
So I see the dependence of AOP on Water Neuron is quite strong right now. And what's going to happen if the Water Neuron governance change or liquidity incentive change from them?
Okay, yeah, I'm going to separate two. I just want to put this clear. Golden Gate, IOPGFI is my Twitter name. Golden Gate Bitcoin is a separate project. Water Neuron is a project which we're also a part of and early contributors. And Water Neuron right now, so I've mentioned, we raised 3.5 million this summer, and no, 3.2 this summer and 3.5 in December. And 100% of everything we raised stays on chain for the long-term incentives. We staked 670K ICP, that's how much we've raised, into 8-year neurons. The yield from this 8-year neuron is being, actually, you know what, I'm going to show you. The yield from this 8-year neuron is being redistributed to the DAO holders. So here, let me show you. I think it's easier to present because like it's a bit more abstract otherwise. Let me share this window up. So here, so this is how Water Neuron works. All of the incentives are here. So the incentive doesn't dry up. We don't spend them. We've staked all of them, and people receive 90% of the yield from all of the money we raised. And so that allows us to have a 12.6% yield right now, and it's actually quite sustainable. It doesn't move. And as this share gets bigger, this share of yield gets smaller, but that allows us to bootstrap up until a level where we have a similar yield to the SNS. So right now we have a yield of 12.6%, and the SNS, we would reach the same yield as the SNS here. And by that time, we would have 21 million ICP token locked on the protocol, or at the current market price, $150 million in TVL. So the goal for us is like making sure that we are the better place for you to earn yield on ICP relative to your ICP up until we reach a massive TVL, at which point we will have like 3 to 4% of all the ICP on the network, which is a massive amount given Lido has 5 to 6% of all the ETH on Ethereum. So we wanted to make sure that up until that point, people were incentivized to stick with us. And it's like a sustainable yield. It doesn't matter how long this takes. the progression will still be the same.
Thanks, man. That's answered it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Enzo. We are at time. So I want to thank everyone who participated today. It's been great to see such a diverse and wide range of projects being built on ICP. Thank you so much for your participation to all the judges, Khalid, David, and Elena. If you'd like to give any last words, now's the time. All the decks and introductions will be done after. So if any of you want to get connected with any of the projects that pitched today, I will be facilitating introductions. So no need to be sending anything in the chat. Everything will be done afterwards. So no need to worry about that.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for organizing that. Helena, Matt, guys, thank you. The main outcome and highlight of this pitch presentation would be that usually, not in every case, but in many cases, you don't really get the projects that you want to really talk about after. With this one is a bit different. There's few projects that I would like really to keep on having the conversation and digging deeper, which basically proves that the quality and the level of this pitch session was quite good for me. So thank you very much for inviting me to be the judge. Hopefully I provided a few questions that open up and discover those projects better. And people that were pitching today, thank you very much. Keep doing that. Wherever the feedback you're going to receive, never stop, because that's the founder's path. There is only a goal and a path. So keep going towards that goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you all projects for joining. And of course, David, Khalid, thank you for joining as well and co-judging today's startup competition. Totally agree with David. There were definitely projects I want to continue conversation with. So Madeline will help to connect us afterwards. And I would say that it's always like interesting to see like how many like different startups are participating and building on ICP. I know most of projects are early in their journey, so wish them also good luck. And always keep in mind are showing a little bit more like traction when you're presenting to investors. I think it always really helpful and just like set the tone of like your go-to-market strategy and how you envision to actually scaling your project. And really excited to continue conversations. Thank you everyone for attending and pitching today.
All right, thank you. Khalid, do you have any last words?
A quick word. First thing, thank you guys for inviting. I mean, a lot of time, like when we go to demo days, we got like a pretty, how to say, compressed representation of a vertical. So this one was really interesting for me because it was like a pretty versatile demo day. I mean, from DeFi to IP application to like GameFi. So really interesting. Really looking forward to what's happening on ICP. I know like deep tech wise, it has been moving like for the last 1 year pretty fast on ICP, and I'm pretty happy and surprised to see like such a versatile cohort in the demo day. Thank you for all the guys who pitched today, and thank you again for the invitation, of course.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everyone. To all the founders that pitched today that are building on ICP, I want to invite you to come to our startup and VC soiree that we're hosting at ETH Denver. So if you and your team are planning to attend the conference and want to come to our side event, you are more than welcome to join. I will be dropping the link to the event here in the chat and link to our other events as well. If any other founder or VC that's listening wants to join, you can feel free to register using those links. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.